Good afternoon. Can everybody hear me okay? Okay, all right. My name is Courtney Eidson, and I'm the founder and executive director of Trailhead Community Farm School. And in the back, we have Stacy Simpson, who is our board chair. And she basically has been along for the ride since before we began. So I like to keep things very informal, so if you guys have any questions, please stop me and ask, and we'll get rolling. So Trailhead Community Farm School is a year-round therapeutic academic day program. We are not residential, and we are open for currently middle school students with the plan to add high school students in the future. And we work primarily with kids with autism and or ADHD. Our mission is to provide support to neurodiverse students, particularly those on the spectrum or with ADHD, who have experienced difficulties achieving success in other academic settings, whether that be homeschooling, traditional school, or virtual school. Our vision is a clinically based program that works with academics on a farm setting for neurodiverse students. At this point, our farm setting is actually a garden. And, moving forward, we would love to actually have our own true farm. As I said, we're brand new. We started in September. We had our first community meeting back in July of 2022. And then we developed our first board of directors in August 2022. Took a while and a lot of work from Stacy, but we received our 501c3 status in June of last year. And we opened our doors with 2 students in September of last year. So we are located in a beautiful setting. It used to be the White Horse Academy, which is owned by the Phoenix Center. And we're on 21 acres surrounded by, as you can see, Paris Mountain. We're right off of the Swamp Rabbit Trail. And it's just a gorgeous setting right off of White Horse Road. So we have 4 different components to our program. We have the academic program, we have the clinical services program, which is psychotherapy, we have outdoor adventure and farm, and then we have our community component. For our academics, these are just a few different aspects of our academic program. Each child has their own individual learning plan. Our student to academic team ratio is 10-2, and that currently looks like 2 teachers to 10 students. In the future, we'll have 1 teacher and 1 assistant to 10 students as we grow. And then we really look into the visual, auditory, and learning differences. And we want to make sure that we're knowledgeable about each and every student's needs. And we want to base everything that we do on the child's strengths, not their weaknesses. We also understand that a lot of times these kids have had negative experiences in the academic setting. So really trying to help them to learn that they're safe with us, they can ask questions, those kind of things. And we want them to learn the way that we know that they can learn and is best for setting them up for success. A lot of experiential hands-on learning activities. We do not lecture and those kind of things. Kids don't have to sit in a desk all day long. So really, we're trying to gear everything towards each student's needs. These are a couple pictures of our students and our teacher, Chris. You can see in these pictures, working with tools and learning self-awareness and the importance of being aware of your surrounding and safety. We also have animals that come. We have 3 dogs and 1 bunny. So they just kind of walk around and the kids, you know, can interact with them at any time. This is our, what we call our critter condo. And this is an example of how we teach. So the kids had to develop a plan for our critter condo and then come up with a list of items that they needed and come up with a budget. Then they were taken to Lowe's, picked out all the items, and then they built it. So that's how we want to incorporate all sorts of math problems, problem solving, those types of things in hands-on projects. And this is also a sign that the kids made. For our clinical services, we have individual family therapy. We also have quarterly family summits that are open to the public. We have life skills groups and, excuse me, transition coordination. So as a private therapist, private practitioner, and one of the many reasons that this program came along is these are the things I saw missing consistently. There are very few clinicians that feel comfortable and competent working with autistic folks. And so we would be focusing on the child, but not the family as a whole. So making sure that we're supporting the entire family is very important. We also want to get the word out and provide education to the community. So that's what we're doing with our family summits. And then life skills groups. I had a client the other day who's about to graduate from high school tell me she doesn't even know how to write a check. So really helping these kids to learn these skills that we've kind of lost. And, you know, each child has a transition plan from day one. You know, granted, we want them to stay with us, but we may not be a good fit. So making sure that we're constantly looking at what supports they may need if they leave us and making sure we're setting everybody up for success. So these are just a few more pictures. This was actually taken on our first day of school. Chris is doing an experiment with the kids, trying different types of honey. This is the Swamp Rabbit Trail, looking for different mushrooms. Again, getting out of the box when it comes to education. Problem solving skills 101. The kids went to see the gingerbread houses and came back and they made their own. So helping them to stay focused, stay on task, and then see their finished product. This is, and we, again, you know, working with the kids to have patience with the animals and understand that, you know, they know Sophie the bunny gets nervous and her eyes get bigger. So how do you help to calm her down, and how can you do that for yourself? Our outdoors and farming aspect. We have weekly field trips every Friday. Those are typically going for a hike. Tomorrow, we're actually going to Clemson University Geology Lab. Those types of things, really helping the kids learn with that hands-on experience again, but also working on social skills and increasing their social competency. Our community garden, we are currently working on revamping, so we've got a few things growing in there. And we will actually donate the crops that we make back to the Phoenix Center for their residential programs so that those folks can have some nice fresh fruits and vegetables and those kind of things. And any extras we have, we'll donate to the local food banks. We also have trails and a ropes course on campus. Not many schools can say that. We're big on teaching about the environment and sustainability. And we also have a partnership with Happy Homes, which is a program through Eden Farms, and that's equine therapy. So this is a picture from our field trip to the Carl Sandburg home. The fellow to the right is a volunteer and he's a horticulturist. So he, in addition to learning the history about Carl Sandburg and the importance of, his works and those kind of things, and then taking a hike on the trails, he actually was helping us to identify different plants and trees and those kind of things. Then we had a trip to Paris Mountain just to kind of get out, move around, and learn about our community. Our community garden. These are our current cabbage that are growing. So we're gonna see how they do through this upcoming weather. And community is huge for us, not only on campus, but also off campus. Our saying on campus is that everyone is accepted and everyone is respected. That doesn't just go for the students, it goes for us as the staff too. We deserve to feel emotionally and physically safe just as much as the kids do. We have quite a few volunteer opportunities. We try to support local businesses, especially in the Travelers Rest area, as much as possible. Engagement in community events. Here today, we really want to advocate for the neurodiverse community and for the caregivers. Donations to local organizations. We just did a big toy drive and hygiene drive for Serenity Place. So helping the kids see that we need to give back and those kind of things. And then we also have monthly clinical and academic webinars and virtual parent support groups that are free to everyone. And we hope that people will take advantage of that as well. So this is a picture of one of our students and one of our dogs up at Furman. We actually went there for lunch one day to kind of see how it would go. He did pretty well. It was a little loud and rambunctious, but on the way there, we walked there on the Swamp Rabbit Trail because we're right by there. We picked up trash and there was a lot of glass along the trail, which was interesting. This was our scarecrow for the Travelers Rest scarecrow contest. We did not win, but that's Dorothy. Dorothy and Toto. Again, just getting out onto the trail and learning about different plants and just about our local community. We went to an art gallery just because we were like, hey, let's go meet with some artists, see what they do. The majority of our kids are very artistic. So really tapping into that and helping them to really grow their niche. So this is our team of three. You guys know me. Julie Butler is our academic director and our teacher. Chris Butler is our outdoor program director and teacher. We wouldn't be here without the two of them. So yeah, we're a great team of three. And this was actually our first staff retreat. We went out to Woodson Branch Nature School in Hot Springs, North Carolina to see what they had going on. And you can see Stacy in the picture as well as the three of us. So criteria for admission, we currently serve 5th through 8th grade. We require an IQ of 80 plus. Must be continent of bowel and bladder because we're on the go nonstop. And that's a dignity situation as well. Within the past 6 months, there can be no incidents of physical aggression, suicidal ideation, or homicidal ideation or attempts. And that's just because we are a restraint-free program and we want to stay that way. And we're really not, our setting is not set up for those folks. We don't want to set people up for failure. We do have rolling admissions. So throughout the year, we are admitting. We're about to admit our 4th student and we're going to go up to 10 this first year. So that's all I have. Any questions?
A great program. I'm just wondering, does this complement like another school, or are you doing something for the general academics major program, reading, writing?
We meet all the core, standards for South Carolina, and we actually just initiated our accreditation process with Cognia. We initiated that 2 days ago. So, yep.
And then, you mentioned that you're going into high school. What does that kind of look like?
So it will be next fall. We'll start with 9th grade. And we're figuring all the logistics out on that, right now. But yeah, we currently have an 8th grader. So having a plan in place for her in the fall.
And you said you started 5th grade?
Mm-hmm, we do, yep. And with the high school piece, we're gonna have the dual tracked, both the career path and the deployment track as well.
Like a full day, like are they going to be the full day? Like,
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, the drop off is between 8 and 9, and then pickup is 4 to 5.
Okay.
So they have 2 hours of academics in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, and the rest we're doing group activities. Yep. Yes.
What was like the spark or the inspiration to start?
Mine, I've been a social worker for many years, and I kept seeing the need for something to keep kids at home, but have the intensive services that a residential program has. And I didn't understand why there wasn't something in between, oh, my child's in crisis, got to get them out of the home, just to have peace. And I was like, but then you're bringing them back into the home and you've been apart for so long, like that's a whole transition. So that's basically the basics of it. I also, going into schools, I would get that kind of, what are you doing here? Are you here to investigate us? And I'm like, no, I'm just here to support a client and tell you from a therapeutic side, this is what we could try to do. And so just that rub between academics and their therapy kind of thing, clinicians.
Can I answer that question too?
Yeah.
From kind of a parent
Yep.
perspective. So, my son is 16 and he's diagnosed with autism, ADHD, and anxiety. And we were referred to Courtney as a family therapist when she was doing that exclusively in her private practice. And we loved meeting with her, and she really served as our guide into the world of the autism community, because we were coming with not that background or experience or knowing about all the resources within the community. So she really guided us through that. And in one of our sessions, I had expressed to her just my concerns about academics for my son. So he, in the transition from elementary school and middle school specifically, felt so huge for us because of going to like the middle school we were zoned for is like a multi-building campus, and just the like social overwhelm and logistics of going to that school every day, we couldn't imagine it. So we ended up moving into a homeschool, which kind of happened around the same time as COVID, which worked out well. And I have some experience in non-formal education, so I felt comfortable doing that. But thinking about the families who don't feel comfortable doing that, like what are the resources for them, what are the options for them, and Courtney really served as like a one-stop shop in a way of like guiding us through resources available, and we really appreciated that. And that's why I'm like so passionate about being involved with a volunteer. And that's like just another angle of sort of that spark and how all the conversations came together.
Yeah, the autism spectrum is so huge. Like for the population you're serving, are you looking more for because you mentioned IQ of 7, are you looking for more of the middle or lower end as far as that part of it goes?
Yeah, we're level 1 and level 2, so, yeah.
Explain it.
So level 1 is what used to be Asperger's. Level 2 requires a little bit more support. So basically, we are open to taking nonverbal students, but we would have to make sure that mainly our teachers know what they use, if they use a device, to communicate, those kind of things. And both of our teachers have extensive experience, particularly in special education. They're both special education educators, and have their master's level in that.
Okay, so level 1 being high,
Mhm.
being next.
That's right, yep.
Is there a cost?
That's the thing I hate to talk about. We are a nonprofit, so the cost is $19,850 per year. And that can be paid in a lump sum or monthly, and then monthly it breaks out to $1,654 and some change. One thing that we've noticed is, as we're going through our accreditation process, we're not able to assist families as far as financially there's an exceptional children's fund, that other families can tap into if they go to accredited schools. And so we're working on that. So we make sure we don't want to be exclusive. We want to make sure we're inclusive. So that's why we were like, we've got to get our accreditation. We've got to start that process with the Exceptional Child Fund. Because families can receive up to $11,000 through that fund that goes directly to the school. So obviously that would help us, even though our tuition is actually quite a bit less than most of those private schools in the county, but we don't have that perk, which really, has hindered us. So we are, at this point, we've been doing a big fundraiser kind of donation drive for financial assistance for tuition.
Do you have a scholarship fund that's in place?
We're working on that. Right now, we kind of we're, like I said, we just have added our 4th student. And what we've noticed is that what is hindering us is the lack of a scholarship, assistance program. So that's what we're trying to work around, and figure out how we can boost our number of students, number one, because we need that. We've got a great program, but it's not helpful if we don't have students and families that can take advantage of it. So we're definitely working on that. We don't have anything actually in place right now, but we're working on that.
And do the children have some type of Medicaid to go there, like Code Bridge requires, because they provide ADA?
Right. No, what we do as far as the clinical side, I'm actually paneled with Aetna, Cigna, and Blue Cross Blue Shield. So we will actually submit those claims. If they have straight Medicaid, we just work with them on the price, because that's, long story short, Medicaid has told me that there are too many therapists in the county. So they won't approve me to be a Medicaid, Medicaid recipient, yeah. So, right, exactly, yep. So it's not the client's fault that Medicaid is being, so we work with them. So, yeah.
Even like that for us.
Right. Yep, they don't have to have any of that, yep, yeah.
Do you work with the other therapists, in the community, the other therapists that treat autism?
I do.
Work with them closely?
Yep, I sure do. There are not many of them. Yep. The handful of us, yep, yeah.
Can you tell us more about the counseling? Like,
Sure.
like what ages? Is it just the ages of the students, or is it, you see anyone for counseling in the families? Or is it just
Yeah.
autism?
No,
what
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
asking.
great
Tell me
great
about
question, yes.
counseling.
So every child is eligible for individual therapy. And right now it's with me. As we grow, obviously we'll add more therapists on staff. So that could be, every week. Every kid gets therapy. And one thing we don't do is that if a child has been working with a therapist outside of Trailhead, we don't tell them you have to stop seeing them, because that's horrible and unethical, it feels like, but, so then I would typically work just with the family and that child would continue with the individual therapist. Typically, they want to go ahead and switch to me because if something happens in class, I'm right there and I can, process it.
What about adults with autism?
In my private practice, I did. Right now I'm phasing out of that. So, but I could definitely refer, to great therapists that I know of. Yeah. We are just outside of the city limits of Travelers Rest. Yeah, on the Greenville side, not too far from Furman University.
Is the address confidential?
No, I can tell you, it's 975 Foothills, and that's 2 words. Road. Greenville 29617. You're welcome. And if you look it up, it may come up. The name of the building is Charles E. Shipman Center, but it used to be the White Horse Academy, so it still kind of pops up sometimes on Google as White Horse Academy. Any more questions? We do have a monthly e-newsletter that we send out. If you guys would like to receive it, Stacy has our information back there. If you want to sign up for it, we would love to keep you guys in the loop as we have new and exciting things come out. And again, check out our website because we do have events. Typically, they're virtual at this point with our webinars and the virtual parent support groups. But we would love to have as many people join as possible.
So I put like 2 or 3 things on each table, but I have a couple more if anyone wants to take one with them. Can you just give like a little bit more detail about those community virtual events, and the different styles and how that works? Because that's all free and community resource and we love how spreading that word.
Yeah.
For like those events open to, they don't have to do your thing.
That's right. Open to everybody. And we want people to attend. Yeah, because we want to get the information out. On Tuesday, the topic that I discussed for our clinical webinar was, my child has been diagnosed with autism, now what? And just, providing some information, some interventions, those kind of things. This Saturday, we have our first virtual parent support group of the year. And then I believe it's the 16th, we have our academic webinar. And that is going to be Julie Butler, our academic director, talking about what experiential learning really is. People throw that out there all the time. Is that really experiential learning? And so those, and then we'll have a second virtual parent group of the month. So.
And so our plan is to do each of those months. There will be a clinical themed webinar each month, an academic themed webinar each month, and virtual parent support groups each month. And those are free and open to literally anyone to register and sign up for. So definitely spread the word on those if you know people. So.
And if there are any topics you guys feel would be beneficial, please let us know. Because we're just kind of going off of what we think people want to know about. So we'd much rather know people truly want to learn about things.
Or if you would like to present
Yes.
your area of expertise.
Yes. That's right. Yeah. Did you have a question?
Yeah. Go first, I forgot.
No, I was just gonna say, so I'm social worker within the Children in Need of Special Health Care Needs program at DHEC. And the biggest thing that I find that families don't understand about is DDSN waiver-based services and Social Security income and how that all relate. So I constantly refer families to Family Connection because they have great webinars on there too, but the more that information can be available,
That's a great
that
idea.
would be so helpful, because it's, but I feel like families go through the school district and they just think the school's gonna provide all the services, and then they get to be 18 and they're like,
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I love that idea.
Yeah.
Cause that's our responsibility, is to educate our parents as well as the parents in the community or guardians in the community, as well as the young adults about these services that are out there. Yeah.
Okay, I remember, but it's gonna be kind of multi.
That's
Okay,
fine.
about the parent support group, is there a cost? Is it for just parents of autistic children or adults also? And if you get enough parents, would you do in person? And I have a page specifically for parents of autistic adults, with over 150 adult parents of adults, so.
Yeah. So it's
get the word
free.
out if you-
Free to everyone. Yeah, they just have to go to our website and register. That's just so we know to send them the link. It's for anyone, and we actually, what I'm working on, we have some interns that are coming to work with us and they're young adults and having them participate in that. Because they know firsthand what it's like, and those and the barriers and challenges as well. So open to anybody, any age. I would love to have in person, in the future. So that's.
I need that.
Yes.
There's such a need for it,
Mhm.
and I would post
Yep.
it so a lot of parents would.
That's
know.
great. Well, in our family summits, what we're looking at is, as we move forward, having a portion of that time that would be parent support groups. So that would only be once a quarter, but, definitely moving in the right direction. Yeah.
Need that.
Mhm.
Do you pull in any like local artisans or craftspeople to teach classes that is outside the three of your area of expertise?
We're working on that. Yeah, that's why we went to that art gallery, because we were like, we met with Karen who does tie dyeing there. And we're like, will you teach our kids? And she's like, absolutely. So we definitely, because they are so artistic, we want to plug them into as many, art type, activities that we can have for them.
She's an artist.
Oh, very good. Come on. Oh. Yeah, we love
a
to.
project.
Oh, good. We love projects.
Yeah.
We do actually, we have our own studio. And Chris does a lot of woodworking with them and has taught the kids how to whittle and those kind of things. So we do have our own studio. Yep. And we love to give tours. So if anybody's ever interested in coming out and seeing us, we would love to have you guys come out and see the environment is absolutely gorgeous. So.